Welcome to episode number 77 of The Closing Table. I'm your host, Tamera, and today we're going to discuss my guest's journey into the ultra luxury real estate market right after this.
Welcome to The Closing Table with host Tamera, where we break down how to be successful in real estate and what it's really like to work in the real estate business. This is The Closing Table with Lawyer's Title.
Welcome back. Today's guest is Will Koberg. He is the owner and realtor at Koberg Real Estate Group. And today we're going to talk about his journey into the ultra luxury real estate market. And let's define ultra luxury. We're going to be talking about properties over $1 million today. Typically in the Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market, luxury is defined a little bit lower than that. But I want to talk about ultra luxury today. And so welcome to the show, Will. I'm happy to have you as my guest.
Tamera, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. You have a great, this is episode 77.
77.
So congratulations.
Yeah. Labor of love.
Well, and it's consistency, right? It's all about
right.
Consistency in your podcast and in your business. So that's very important. But yeah, I'm excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you're here. So let's kick it off. I want to talk about your background and how you got into real estate. So why don't you share your journey up to just when you got into real estate?
Okay, so back, how far do you want me to go?
Well, I mean, not to I was 3.
Yeah. Well, so I think, real estate, I consider myself an entrepreneur, right? I consider myself somebody who has always been someone who wants to do things out of the box, right? So my dad was an entrepreneur, and so I learned from him. My mom was very personable. Both of them had good personalities, right? And out of a family of 5, but I was the youngest. I was the runt. So I got like a twin brother. He's 6'6", my older brother 6'5". I already told you.
Yeah,
this,
we talked about. I'm the runt too.
I'm just you're right. So I always had to prove myself. Always operating with a little chip on my shoulder. So anyway, I think out of the 5 kids, I definitely got that entrepreneurial spirit from my father, and so carried that on. College. Actually, my first job out of college was with the Dallas Mavericks. I was the youngest corporate account executive in the NBA for Mark Cuban after he bought the team, and that was super cool to see a pioneer and a visionary come into pro sports.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Totally change how they do that.
Yeah.
So seeing that, but that was cool and it was fun. But then restaurant business, technology, and then I'm like, what can I do where I can use relationships? Because I always was good at networking, always good at meeting people, and always liked helping people, right? And was how can I leverage that passion helping people, and what business allows me to do that. But it also has a sales cycle that I enjoy, right? Because I'm kind of ADD, and that could either be your detriment or it could be your superpower. So I like to, got this, let's focus on it, let's get it done, let's wrap it up, move on to the next thing.
So commercial real estate would never be in your...
I looked at that. Yeah, I looked at that,
Yeah.
and so I was like, well, what about residential real estate? And then I had buddies in the industry, and they were making good money.
Yeah.
And then I've told you, I also am a working film and TV actor, so I'm like, what can I do to take, that passion, put it together with real estate? I like the two of them, put them together, make it fun, help people, and keep it exciting. And so that's how I got into real estate.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you do juggle, you wear a few hats. You are a serial entrepreneur. I've watched some of your other endeavors also. Well, let's fast. How long have you been in real estate? Tell the audience how long you've been in real estate altogether.
So I got licensed in 2013 and have been doing it full time since 2015. So it's 2024. So, almost, not 10 years yet.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
So when did you get to the point, or how did you get to the point where you were working with sellers that had properties over $1 million?
Well, so I was independent. I joined a team. So it was never my goal to join a team. Like I had my own logo. I wanted to be independent. But, through where I was in that season of my life, had just gotten married, had a 1-year-old, and a lot of pressure. And I met a top agent in DFW, been here since the 90s, was like, hey, you should join my team. You look like a go-getter. It's like, I don't know if I want to be on a team, but kind of sucked it up and realized that there was an opportunity for me to learn from somebody who has been doing it a lot longer than me and had a business that I wanted to have in luxury. So little advice, if you have the opportunity to learn from someone, if you see somebody that has a business like you want to have, and there is an opportunity to either have them as a mentor, coach, or even maybe join their team for a short period so that helps you, do it. right?
You're
And so-
jumping ahead to my. You're jumping.
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Spoiler alert. But that's okay. I mean, but I think you have a point.
Yeah.
Is to learn from people who are already doing
100%.
what you're doing.
Yeah, alignments determine your assignments. So align with those that are successful, that are doing the kind of business that you want to be doing, and you're going to pick up the habits and you're going to pick up the skills to do that. And so my first taste of doing luxury property was on that team that I was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you eventually moved in. You moved out on your own, and you're now working with luxury clients, or what I would call ultra luxury.
Correct.
Clients.
It was always a dream, and I mean, some people have said you stayed on that team too long, but God, I'm a faithful person. God works, and His plans are not my plans. But you look back and like it worked out perfectly, right? So jumped out on my own with plenty of notice. By the way, I wasn't one of these like, hey, see you later.
Yeah, right.
Like a year before, I sat down and said, my dream is to have my own real estate business and to do it on my own, and so no bridges were burned.
Good.
At any of the places I've been.
It's a big, small world.
It is. It's a big, small world. And this was just some great advice that I received on that team. Is like, hey, you're going to do business with these people. So don't, if you have every transaction you do with a realtor, you're going to see them again.
That's right.
So make sure that, you're professional and you do things the right way.
I've had clients scratch off realtors, like reject deals from realtors because they didn't want to work with that individual again.
You don't wanna
So
do that.
this is a big, small world, and you do have to keep your alliances or your bridges. You can't be burning bridges.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you may not like how somebody does something, but you're going to work with them again if they're going to be in this industry. So, try to make it the best experience possible and make it a win-win for both sides.
Well, in this topic, the thing that we're talking about today, the reason why I wanted you to come onto the show is because your journey into this type of market is of big interest to realtors, right? I mean, I have lots of conversations with lots of realtors, and they always want to move into the luxury market. Mm-hmm. But I think that's what everybody wants to do, right? Everybody wants to move into luxury.
Sure.
I don't necessarily think that luxury is an easier. The commission's attractive, right? But the clientele can be a lot more complicated, right? Yes. And so you also have to understand your clients at a very high level and what their needs are and how to work with them in the way that these incredibly busy professionals want to be worked with, because a lot of them are high-end business professionals and things like that. So how did you find the clients? How are you finding your clients?
Well, laser focus, right? So I think some of it comes from putting yourself in position. So when I had opportunities to do luxury open houses for properties that were not my own, I did them. And I also displayed that I'm going to be extremely professional. And when I had a chance to do those for other agents on my team or other agents that I knew that were in the luxury space, I made sure I was buttoned up and I represented that property well. And
that is a great golden nugget, you guys. I know that there's a lot of realtors that think that open houses don't work.
Yeah.
And I think that the tried and true ways of building a real estate business work today, just like they worked yesterday, right? And so you're confirming that by saying that you held those open houses on those high-end properties. And then not only that, but when you showed up, you showed up as a professional that could work with that type of clientele.
100%.
So you're telling me you didn't show up in shorts and a t-shirt?
No, I still wear. I'm not wearing a tie today, but I still make a habit to wear a tie and be buttoned up. And I know styles change and all that, but perception's reality. So when I want somebody to meet me, I want to have that opportunity to win their business. I'll follow up with them, and the best way. Yeah, they've got social media and all that. I do a lot of social media, but the reason I'm on track to have my best year ever is from referrals and past clients and that personal relationship and adding value through communication. And look, it's not something that you establish and then you're done. You got to practice it every day. You got to work on communication because you get busy and you forget to commute. And that's the most important thing. And I think getting into the luxury space, I had a client ask me, a luxury client, he's like, hey, is it as hard? Do you put as much work into, a $100,000 deal that you do in $1 million deal? And I said, well, it's two different things. And there's a lot more at stake, but me personally, I'm going to work hard no matter what the price point is.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you look at the payoff, it's going to be more in that luxury space. So why wouldn't I why wouldn't I do that? Right. And, but communication is the most important thing. And look, you can do all the online leads you want, but building a personal relationship is still the best form of communication, one-on-one, meeting somebody so they trust you with, one of their biggest, financial, transactions in their life.
Well, and you tapped into something else. So I just happened to see, I was on TikTok last night. I needed a little bit of like lack of brain power moment,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just to dive into something that didn't require my brain power. But I saw a TikTok with Ryan Stewman, excuse me,
Sirhan.
wrong Ryan.
Both of them were great, by the way. I like Steven and I like Sirhan.
Ryan
Yeah.
where he did a TikTok and he said they asked him what his number one differentiator was. And he says, I follow up till you die.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
So no one's going to outsell me because I'm always going to be staying in contact with you and tapping into you and making sure that I'm the one that's top of mind when you're ready to make a real estate decision. And he said he followed this one client for, I think it was 4 or 5 years, more than that. And the guy finally got divorced, reached out to him and said, I am going to give you a chance because you've always been consistent in following up with me. And they closed some, I don't know, crazy $40 million property in the Hamptons or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're kind of talking about this. I want to continue this part of the conversation. What is your differentiator to these luxury clients? And you've already talked about some of that. What, consistency, making sure that you show up in a professional way. But when you're actually working with them, like trying to get them to sign with you for a listing, what are your differentiators that you talk to them about?
Well, the main thing is what is your value?
Yes.
Those differentiators, I think that's what you're asking. What's your value? What's your differentiator? And I do discuss like, hey, I'm a film and TV actor and I bring that, my unique 1%, I bring that into everything I do. And here's how it benefits you, right? So you have to be able to, explain your value proposition. Why is this important? Because, I have a network that opens up and they buy luxury homes. My experience with the Dallas Mavericks is important because I still keep in touch. I was at the NBA Summer League and I got executives I hadn't seen like Will. And so now I've got.
Yeah, you were just in Vegas.
And it wasn't, wasn't half fun. It was to network. And
You're
so
right.
guess what? I bring that to your business or I bring that to the table. When you work with me, I'm constantly hustling. I'm constantly, how can I sell your home? I think outside of the box. And so to be able to show that and show that in my previous work is very important. Like, yeah, I do videos. Yeah, I do this. Maybe I don't have as many views as some of these people that are ultra consistent, but the quality is there and the results are there and me being able to sell properties and sell them for where I list them. And I think also being in that meeting and being able to be honest with the person you're talking to. So you're not just like, okay, well, whatever you need. Like I show up and I have my comps ready. Like I've already done my homework. So here's, just so you know, here's the price. I've already decided where you're at. Now, maybe I haven't seen your house, but I've already done my comps and here's a number just so you know that I'm not blowing smoke. Now, based on what I've seen today, we may adjust that plus or minus or whatever, but I'm honest and I'm going to tell you. And here's this is the percentage I work at, and I'm going to add value. And you want me short a commission, and we can talk about that. But no, I won't do it. And why? Because my business will suffer, and your net gain will suffer.
So you don't cut your commission?
This year I've done it.
None times?
Well, maybe once.
Once.
But I've done it. There are some instances, repeat clients maybe or whatever, but I'm proud to say that this year has been awesome as far as me not doing that, and I'm holding my ground. And I think that comes with experience, that comes with confidence. When times are tough and you go through seasons in your life where it's like you're kind of like, oh man, I need the business, or it's worth it because of the gain to do it with this client. Then you weigh those factors, but more often than not, I think you need to hold firm because if you don't value yourself, then nobody's going to value you.
I agree with it. But I also think that, especially if there's a sell and a buy involved in this world, it's pretty common practice for a discount to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. If I don't offer it if I don't have to.
Well, we won't put it out there.
Yeah, let's not put that out there. I don't want people calling. So you said you give us a discount.
We'll make sure not to clip that and put it as a reel.
I don't want to be known as the discount guy because when you deal with professionals, they're not. How do they become rich? They didn't get rich by discounting themselves.
That's right.
So I mean, you're asking me to do something that you don't do.
Let me ask you a question based on what you have already said.
Yeah.
So but you show up with comps, you show up with the number in your head. You may adjust it based on what you see once you get to the house.
Yeah.
But will you take an overpriced? The seller says, "I want my house listed at 300,000 more than what you're saying." Will you take an overpriced listing?
So the way that I answer that question is funny because I did a known, I guess, celebrity. We did an interview with her, and she asked me the same question, and I didn't crack. I had all the lights on me. I said, I'm going to tell you based on my professional experience where your house needs to price. Now, if you choose to list it higher than I advise you to do so, you've got, after 10 showings or 2 weeks to 30 days, whichever comes first, we're adjusting the price without an offer. We're going to be adjusting the price to where I recommend it needs to be at. Because if we don't, you're going to sell it for less and your home's going to sit on the market. So, and then I also talked to him, you can list it at, if it says you need to list your home at, 1.5 million, you list it at 2 million. Well, if these people aren't paying cash and they get a loan, then, the appraisal is going to come in and you're going to be renegotiating. So you're wasting your time. So you have to make sure that you explain the reason why. Yeah, you can list your house at whatever you want, but, that may cost you a lot more money in the long run.
So you don't feel those few weeks or 30 days or whatever is wasted time on that?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you did that?
I take a listing. It's not worth my time to take something that's not going to sell.
That's right.
Now, I'm like, look, if I think that there may be, like you can list here, it says we really need to be here, but if that's, you got your heart set on that, after a certain amount of time, you better be able to, rein them in and say, okay, now we're going to list where it needs to be. And that number may have gone down because you wasted those 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's interesting strategy, talking to different realtors, how they handle that particular issue.
Yeah.
When a seller thinks the house is worth more than what you think it's worth.
I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to be in the business. Because your business will die if you get in the habit of taking listings that don't sell.
I can't imagine.
You don't get paid if you don't sell.
It's interesting. Well,
it's so common sense, but it sounds so smart when I say it.
No.
Maybe it does.
Okay, so how do you?
The best advice. There's some good advice too.
Okay, I can't wait.
My dad had somebody tell him, he goes, "Keep it simple, stupid."
That's right. That's great advice. How do you market these properties?
So how do I market properties? Well, we have a product.
I know the answer, but the audience may not.
So I market properties in multiple ways. Obviously, you want to have, great print materials at the home. You want, I make HGTV style home tour videos, and then we cut that up and we send that out. It's on YouTube. I've got some that have gotten thousands of views. I got some that have hundreds of views. So it's really, constantly trying to figure out how you market algorithms and all that stuff.
Yeah, isn't it
and I don't have, I'm not an
those damn algorithms.
I'm not an attractive, tall blonde. So, I probably don't get as many views as you, but it's all about, thinking outside the box, putting it out there, calling your database. That's how you market your property. Depending on what brokerage you're with, know what they're able to do, what kind of bandwidth do they have, and lean into that. But more, and they get out in the neighborhood, do the things that are old school, have the open houses.
I love that you said that.
Old school.
I love that you said that. Keep going.
Things don't change. Get out, go door knocking, go meet the neighbors. Sometimes, in instance, I may put out my open house signs just because that gives me an opportunity to meet a couple people. Say, hey, this is my card. We're listing this property over here.
You could pick up a buyer doing that.
You pick up a buyer.
Every seller and a buyer.
Yeah, I think it was every listing. You should, if you're doing things correctly, you should get an additional listing and pick up a qualified buyer if you're doing it correctly. But the neighborhood, door knocking, that stuff works. Getting out and what's the sphere of influence?
Yep.
And create your sphere of influence. It's like, is that the country club? Is that your tennis team? Is that your basket, soccer with the kid, whatever.
Well, and you're really good about tapping into a circle of people that would be able to buy and sell these type of properties.
Right.
I see you over at Stonebriar all the time, and
Right.
some of those other places where high-end net worth individuals mingle.
Where you want to align, and it's not being snobby or anything, but who can buy your property? Who's going to sell those properties?
And that's an interesting question. And by the way, I didn't warn you that I was going to ask you stuff that isn't on this piece of paper. I had somebody come to me and they said they wanted to move into the luxury market and they wanted to know where they should plug in. And I said, you have to plug into where these people spend their time.
Right.
A lot of them have families. They don't have a lot of downtime. They're probably going to be pretty consistent to going to places like the Cowboys Club or, a Stonebriar, Glen Eagles or something like that. And so, and you were mentioning some other places that you would go to, like that conference that you went to, but that's more professional sports related.
Sure, but but what clubs? They got these luxury car clubs on Saturdays. Tap into that. Are there? There's multiple things you can do. You just got to do a little homework and figure out where those people are hanging out and where do they spend their time and make a point to go there and get to know people and start networking.
I have an interesting question that's going to be, it's just more of a fun question to me. And I asked it to another realtor that works in the ultra luxury market, and he had some interesting answers. What design trends are you seeing in these ultra luxury properties, maybe some more custom builder properties that would be interesting or must haves for these high-end buyers? Mm-hmm. You did a video where you showcased the staircase in the it's Santa Bella, correct? Is that the street name?
It was a home on Santa Bella by a custom builder, Ventura Custom Homes, who I have another house listed on Santa Bella. And one thing they do is they try to almost have something in their home builds that are unique, that almost is like art. And so for the instance, the staircase, was metal or steel, and it was fabricated totally, done custom, and it had lights and glass, and it was just beautiful. And they're proud of that. And then the one that I have listed, they have this cool wall that's multiple layers in the dining room with these lights that hang down like rope lights. And, that creates a uniqueness about a property. And people like that because when you're buying a luxury home, you do want to have something that you can kind of showcase, like, oh wow, this is a feature I haven't seen in another property. Now, as far as design and style, like, I know my limitations. I bring experts in that I partner with, that I have that can come and give design opinions, give paint colors and all of those things.
Absolutely.
But as far as, ultra luxury, somebody that's buying that home wants to be able to have people there to entertain, where there's some wow factor about that property. So I think it's important, especially when I'm, make that the highlight of my marketing,
Absolutely.
30-second clips of just that. I mean, I think that video where I looked at those stairs got over 3,000 views.
I mean, there's, it's so funny because they're stairs, right?
Yeah.
But they're absolutely stunning
stairs that aren't just stairs. Stunning stairs.
They're stunning.
Make you want to walk up and down them all day.
I mean, I heard about a house in Frisco that has bulletproof glass in the master bedroom. There's some interesting.
What's up with that couple?
I'm guessing there's some high-end security issues there.
High-end counseling.
Yeah. I mean, there were some other interesting things that I've heard about in some of these houses, like somebody walks in, the basketball courts, the bowling alleys, all of those kind of things. But there was another person on my podcast that talked about, you walk in the bathroom and the owner said it's go time, and Metallica starts playing. The shower goes off at the right temperature that he wants to get. So, it's really fascinating what kind of technology and features that you can put into these houses
100%.
That the rest of us regular Joes that, I'll never have go time in my bathroom.
Don't say that. Well, and the other,
I guess, Alexa can do that for me.
But the important thing about that,
not the same.
What's your go-to song?
I don't know. I always turn on Red Dirt Country when I'm getting ready.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So but I think
Whiskey Myers.
Yeah, Whiskey Myers. So I think the important thing is when you have those unique things about the property, is that you highlight, make that a part of your marketing. I mean, you don't have to think outside the box. Say, okay, well, these are 4 or 5 awesome features of this property. Let's highlight these and let's put them out there.
I love that you said that. I've had numerous conversations on the podcast about open house videos. Yeah. So I'm friends with about 5,000 of you on Facebook. Yeah. And so I see all of your open house videos and all the awards you win and the magazines you're in, and Facebook is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And so I see some really interesting open house videos. And I have always said, I think the most attractive open house video, and I've seen them all, are the ones where you go in and you don't do a tour of the whole house. Right. You pick 3 interesting things. and you highlight those, and then you say, don't you want to know more?
Yeah, that's good.
Contact me.
Yeah, that's good.
The community tour. I'm a big fan of the community tour.
Yeah,
also.
community tours are good. I think there's a guy on YouTube that does that, and he's crushing it.
Yeah.
And, take time to do those things and plan it out and be consistent. Everybody says, what can you get in front of the camera? We'll find some things that work. But yes, when I'm doing open houses, that's an opportunity. If I don't have somebody coming through the door, or I have people that just left, I may do an open house live, depending on the connection, or do a video like, hey, we just had a break in the action. Let me show you 3 things about this awesome property. We're doing an open house live today. Boom. But then people watch it, and it's something else out there. And then you're not wasting time.
And you're quick.
Right. And then you make,
you don't drag it out.
No, let's show a couple things about this property, and then go through there and keep it simple. And then guess what? If you get 20 people that like it, those are people you can follow up with and tell them, hey, thanks for supporting my open house. You got somebody that needs to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Yeah, you have another segment. It's, what is it, Monday Things and Other Stuff, or what do you call it?
Started doing a Monday real estate recap, and then a Friday real estate recap, where it's just,
But you call it
Oh, and other things.
Yeah.
Monday real estate recap and other things.
And other things.
And so the other things may be the first thing, because that's fun. Like, okay, what else is going on? I think.
But that's like a community tour without it being boring.
100%. Yeah.
It's totally what it is.
And I was at Frisk, and I find different locations.
You're all over the place too. It makes me
fun.
tired. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's amazing.
I got a lot of energy. But the thing about that is, you try to keep it fun, and something like, you may have a little bit of this on my page, a little bit of that, but I try to keep things interesting and fun, and then informational. So
no, I love the title, and other things.
And other things.
And I'm like, what are the other? Well,
that may be an acting job that I've got going on, or the Morgan Wallen concert was this past weekend, and then it's fun to put a little clip in there or something like that. Yeah.
No, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Thank you.
Before we break, any last advice for realtors trying to break into the ultra luxury market?
Yeah, I think laser focus. When I was in Vegas, I had the opportunity to talk to a mega ultra luxury agent. I think he sold the highest price.
Oh, that's a next name. Yeah, mega ultra.
He sold
luxury.
like a $35 million home in Vegas. It was coined for selling the most expensive house in Las Vegas. And guess what? You know how I got that? I got the top agents. I said, I want to meet with a couple of these people, or at least try to when I go out there. And I even did an open house for a guy that had a
You
fine.
did?
I called a guy, hey, look, dude, I'm coming to town.
In Vegas?
Yeah, I'm coming in for the NBA Summer League, and the video will be out this week or next week. I said, can I do an open house, or can I do a home tour video of your? He's like, man, that's great. I love it. He goes, because I got clients in Dallas, and if you got anybody moving from Vegas.
Super smart.
Yeah, and then the other guy I talked to said, it's all about adding value and be laser focused. If you want to work somebody just like Ryan Serhant do, focus on that person. If you want to work with C-suite individuals, then call the vice president of whatever company and make a point to go get in front of them, do things that put you in front of that. So don't quit, work hard. Success does not come overnight.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get on social media and just get a ton of leads. If you're buying leads, they're probably going to be crap. It's all about creating a business. And look, you said I'm got a lot of hats. I had to, and being all over the place, I had to focus, and I had to say, okay, I got to focus on creating and establishing a great real estate business where my clients know that they got value. So if I did, I may have something else going on, but at the end of the day, they know that I'm the guy to sell their home.
Great place to stop for today. Thank you for that last minute advice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being a guest on my show.
It was awesome. So go check out koberggroup.com for all of your open house and listing information. And don't forget, #Will sells it.
It's like you wrapped up the show for me.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
What about me?
And Tamera. All her stuff too.
Yeah.
Follow and like us on social media.
I don't even know what to say now. We're just going to stop. Thanks for joining me on another episode. Again, I'm your host, Tamera Gady. Go and check me out on all of the podcast channels, The Closing Table with Lawyers title, and make it a great day.